What's up guys, this is Smith here and we're back with another 7 Night video. So before the video, just want to say I'm very happy because my previous video was on the general guide and resource allocation for early to mid-level player. Had a really good feedback from the community. So I just want to say thank you for your support, and that made me decide to do another video on the general guide of this game, which is going to be this video. So in the video, I'm going to go through every single unit in the game that has a 6-star version in the codex, and I'm quickly going to go through their skills and give them a verdict, just say if they're good or if they're food. But before we go into the details, just want to declare two things. So firstly, I'm not going to go through any of the 7 Knight or 4 Lords, because in my opinion they're all very good, and if you have any copy of them, you should definitely work to make them stronger. Secondly, I understand there are a lot of heroes that has awakening form on Korean server, but I don't think it's coming soon for global and Asia server, so I'm not gonna go too much detail on those awakening heroes, but I will mention if the hero whether has an awakening form on Korean server right now when we go through them. So you might want to keep at least a 4-star version of them for future use. So let's go to Codex, and we'll go through the regular hero first. So firstly, Evan. He is the main character of the game, and he is the first one to get Awakening on Korea. But right now, on global server, he's just a poor man's Rudy, and I don't recommend working on him too much. But you definitely should keep a copy just for future use. Secondly, Karen. She is very good. She's got a single target heal plus revive plus a self-revive passive, and also makes all allies immune to death debuff for 5 turns. So she's very good for Castle Rush on Chris Day, just because of the passive immune to death debuff. But so you should definitely keep a 6-star version of her, but you don't have to transcend her, as she is just a Castle Rush hero at the moment. And then, Yuri. So Yuri, she is very good. She was, before the Ace revamp, she was a better version of Ace because she's got an AoE silence plus a single target damage that removes all buffs on the target. So this is the silence, and the silence rate is okay. Plus, her passive makes her come back to life with 100 HP and decrease our enemy defense by 40%. So if you don't have Ace and you have a few copies of Yuri, you might want to maybe just get her to level 32, and she will definitely help you out in lower level arena. So she's very good. Lee, his awakening form on Korea is very useful, but right now on global and Asia, he is pretty much food. So not gonna go too much about him. Yui, she is the only hero in the game that has an AoE revive. So revive all allies with 30% HP, increase HP by 10% with each ally still alive for up to a maximum 60% HP. But right now she's also like Karen. She is just a Castle Rush unit because of her passive. All allies become immune to burn damage and silence for 6 turns. So she is a Castle Rush unit for Dylan's Day, so you want to definitely keep a 6-star version of her, but you don't have to worry about transcending her further. And Jupi, as I mentioned in my previous videos, I always keep mentioning her and Shen because right now, Jupi and Shen are the best backline single damage dealer on global and Asia. So for raid Castle Rush, you definitely want to at least get Jupi to level 40 as soon as you can, or get Shen to level 40. So she is a very important unit in the game. Helenia, the patch note just came out today that she's getting the revamp, but I have to say I'm very disappointed about how Netmarble is revamping her. Basically, they just adding stats, basic stats, and she is a defense hero, but they actually minus his defense by 200. They reduced 200 defense, and they buffed all her skills, but in my opinion she's still just food on global and Asia, but in Korea she is very good for raid, her awakening form, so you might want to keep a 6-star version of her for future. Her sister Heavinia, she is not very good because her stun rate is very low and her damage scaling 80% on the AoE plus 180% on a single target is really low, so she is not very good, so she's just food. Sniper, he is actually one of my favorite heroes in the game, and I was really looking forward to Netmarble, maybe if they were gonna revamp Sniper, but in the end he lost to Helinia, because I see really good potential for him if they do decide to revamp him, because he's got a really good basic speed, and if they increase his speed by 2 or 3, that's a very good speed, plus his active is a AoE 85% plus bleed. If they can change the bleed into a buff reduce AoE, it will be really good, and he's got a multiple target piercing. If they can make it like a 3 target piercing plus AoE buff reduce plus the passive, which is already pretty good, immune to physical damage. This is right now, the arena is a physical meta, so he had really good potential, but Netmarble, he's not revamping him, so he is pretty much just food right now. But he does have an awakening form on Korean server, so for all the Sniper lovers out there, you might want to keep a 6-star version of him just for the future. And Ariel, she's got 2 AoE. She was one of the best farmers when the game just released, but right now she is pretty much just food. The reason is because both her AoE has only 80% scaling, and she doesn't have ignore defense, so yeah, so she's just food. Alright, so we go to regular. Karen is very good, and you should transcend him once you get enough resource, because he is a very good unit for raid for his passive, immune to stun for 6 turns for all allies, and he's got 2 heals as well, so he is a very good unit for raid, and you should try to transcend him whenever you can. Victoria, she is good, but she is just a castle rush unit. For her passive, all allies become immune to electrify 6 turns, so it's for Elaine Day to counter Elaine's crowd control, which is electrify. So because of she's on the castle rush unit, you just want to keep a 6-star version of her, don't need to transcend her further. Lucy, she used to be very good in the turtle meta. I think she's still decent if you are starting out the game, because she's got an AoE heal, and her second skill remove all ally debuff. Another reason she is very good, because she's not only removing the debuff, but herself she's got passive that she can't be debuff for 4 turns. So if your whole team gets stunned, she can just get rid of the stun because she can't be debuffed, and passive increase all allies block rate by 50%. So she's a very good character if you're using a turtle team. So she's good. Velika, she is good because she used to be very good in arena as well as farming, because her skill has ignore defense. So she's like Ariel, even though both of her skill only 80% scouting, but her skill firstly it's got a burn damage is very high, and ignore defense, which makes her does a lot more damage than Ariel as well. Plus she's got a really good speed, so she was really good in arena, but now pretty much she's just a raid unit because of her passive reduce magic damage received for all allies by 50%. Because the raid boss, the dragon, all his skills are magic based, so you definitely want a Velika or a Spada in your team to reduce the damage taken by your team. So she's very good, and you should transcend her when you have a resource. Sylvia. Okay, so Sylvia, she is pretty much food on global. She's also got an awakening form on Korea, but it's pretty average as well. So she's food. And also Velaka has got a awakening form on career as well, and her awakening form is very good. So definitely transcend her if you can. Joker, he used to be good on Rudy Day for Castle Rush because of his skill that removes buffs on the target. But now there's just so many heroes with buff reduced skill, and I have to say he's pretty much just food at the moment. Miming is a he. Before I thought it's a she, but then they released the costume with the mustache, so now I realize it's a he. And he is very good in arena. He used to be the king of CC in arena, but now he kind of fall off a bit. But he's still very good because his paralyze has a really high CC rate. So, and his passive give him immunity to all attacks for 2 turns. Plus, he's got same passive as Lucy, increase ally block rate by 50% for 3 turns. So he's very good. Xiao, the zombie girl, she is okay. She's got 2 cooldown increase skills, 1 AoE, 1 single target, and she's got immunity for 2 turns as well. Right now she's not very useful, but once the world boss comes out, she'll be a core unit, so you definitely want to keep a few copies of her just for the future. Okay, so let's go into Terra. Rook right now, he is definitely food. His skill doesn't really stand out, but once he gets his awakening form and take his helmet off, he becomes one of the very good unit in Korea for his awakening form. So you definitely want to keep a copy for the future. Chancellor, same as Rook, food right now, but once his awakening come out, he is very good for arena. Mei is good for Castle Rush. She used to be good for a turtle team, but now because no one really uses turtle team anymore, and with all the new units, she fell really hard in arena. She fell off really hard, and she's pretty much just a Castle Rush unit, especially for Jave Day. So you might want to keep a 6-star version of her, or you can just use your friend's Mei, level 40 Mei. Alice used to be really good, same as Yuri before Ace revamp, because her passive increased damage inflict all enemies by 40%, which is later part of the Ace passive. So before, instead of running Ace, people used to run Yuri plus Alice on front line to stack passive in arena. But now since Ace got revamped, Alice and Yuri both fell off pretty hard. But if you new or starting out, she is still very good, especially she's got AoE heal, plus she removes all Alice debuffs, and she's got a single target revive, which turns your ally into a zombie for 2 turns. So she's very good for starting out to mid-level players. Aragon, he is okay because he's good in turtle team as well, but as I said, no one really uses him anymore. But if you have a level 30 or level 32 version of him, and you starting out want to farm say 913, you want to farm Lubu, his active skill, if you set to auto repeat turn 1, he can one-shot the first wave, so keep that in mind. But apart from that, he's pretty average right now. Crusader, all the Crusaders are very good. Ruri, she is a very good unit for arena, especially in lower level, because both her targets are AoE. She's got buff reduce, plus she's got very hard hitting AoE that ignores defense, and her passive, immune to physical damage 3 turns and increase allies critical rate by 30%, is very useful against the current meta in lower level arena. So, and her awakening form is pretty good too. She's got instant kill 1 target skill, so you definitely want to keep a few copies of Ruri. Nia is a she. She's very good. She's got a little bit nerf on her second skill. It used to be decreased buff duration for everyone, by 2 turns, but now they give her a chance, so it's a little bit of nerf, but she's still very good. Especially she's getting an awaken in the future as well, and she's able to have an AoE to shuffle the enemy's formation. So definitely keep a few copies of Nia. Espada, like Velika, she is pretty much a raid unit because of her passive, reduced magic damage received for all allies by 50%. So you can pretty much choose either Velika or Espada for your raid team to work on, so she's good. Shang, so as I mentioned, Shang and Jupi, the best 2 damage dealer backline single target for your raid and Castle Rush team. So she's extremely good, and all her costumes in my opinion are very good, so you definitely want to work on her and try to get her to level 40 if you don't have a Jupi. And her awakening form in Korea is very good as well. Zeke, he is very good, mainly for raid first team plus Castle Rush Rudy Day for his anti-stun passive, and he's got awakening form in Korea as well. But he is not priority to transcend, but definitely keep at least a level 30 6-star in your team just for raid and Castle Rush right now. So he's very good. Shadow Clan, so Jang, there are a lot of backline units in the game are better than her, so if you have her, just use her to unlock. She's pretty much food. And Black Rose, she is very good, the best fighting type element backline in arena at the moment. So if you have Shen and Jupi at high level and you have leftover fighting type or the red element, definitely try to transcend Black Rose. She's got Void Shield, she's got untargetable passive, plus she can't be CC'd, and all her active skill hit really hard, plus a very high base speed, so she's very good. So you should definitely work on her if you have a copy of her already. So that's pretty much the regular heroes. Asgard, I'm not gonna go too much into all this 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, same as this one. Alright, so Leo is good, same as Karen for his passive, immune to death debuff for all allies. So you either want to keep a 6-star Karen or you want to keep a 6-star Leo for Chris Castle Rush Day. Okay, Bang, he's got the silence, but he's very squishy, very slow, and he is just food. Ellen, as I said, there are a lot of backline damage dealer right now. That's better than her, so she's just food. Okay, Cleo, she is like a Cassiopeia from League of Legends, and she's got petrifying plus poison. It's pretty much the same, but she is food right now. Same as Bang, she's really slow and really squishy, so there are better units than her out there. Lania, they keep changing her name, but she's good for Castle Rush Spike Day. So because of her passive, immune to freeze for all allies. So definitely keep a level 30 version of her as 6-star, but don't worry about transcending her, as she's just a Castle Rush unit. Right, Nox right now, he is food, but in Korea he gets awakened very early, and I think he got the AoE like Chris AoE that applies death debuff, so he can be very good in arena when his awakening come out. So you probably want to keep a copy of him just for the future. Sarah, she is food. All her passive does no damage to enemies. This one reduces damage and defense by 50%, and this one removes all that debuff, plus she's got a self buff that reduces damage by 50%, but to be honest, she is just food. Okay, so that's Asgard. We move on to Asher, and firstly Jing. I really like his design. I used to use him with Rudy when I first starting out because his passive increased physical attack by 40% of defense, which is a Rudy passive. He a highly transcendent Jing in the old meta can be very good, but right now he just fell off really hard and he is pretty much just food right now. Lina, as I mentioned in pretty much all my previous video, she is the best light element hero right now. AoE heal, AoE buff increase plus a very good passive, so definitely try to get her to level 40 as soon as you can. She is very good in all PvE contents. Daisy, she used to be very good just when she got her revamp on Global and Asia server. She's got immunity, plus she's got a ally magic attack buff by 40%, a single target piercing skill that has a really high multiplier, plus a 4-man AoE that counters Soy when it was Soy meta back then. But right now she's still very good in lower level arena, but on high level arena she falls off a bit. But if you're starting out, definitely try work on her if you have a few versions of her, especially at 6-star already. Ray, she used to be very good as well, but now she falls off because of all the new backline units such as Black Rose, the revamped Jave, plus Lubu. She used to be the only hero in the game that has a 5-man piercing, but with a very low very low scaling at 80%. But people used to stack damage passive in the front line and just put a single Ray at the back, because like Black Rose, she can't be CC as well, so she was a key for a lot of players to get to Master Arena at the back. So people use Ray at back and front line, Alice plus Yuri plus Elaine plus Dylan's full damage buff plus a Ray, and she can pretty much one-shot the whole team. But right now she is okay, but I don't suggest you to work on her because they are better backliners than her right now. So you probably just want to food her. Okay, so Soy, she was very good when she came out because of her passive. Allies become immune to 5 target AoE for 3 turns. But right now, a lot of heroes, they don't have 5-man AoE anymore. Instead, they have 4-man or 3-man. So she falls off really hard. But if you are low level and if you have a Soy at 6-star, I recommend just use her for your raid team, as both skills of the raid boss are 5-man target AoE. So yeah, if you low level, probably keep a 6-star version of her. And recently she just got Awakening form on Korea as well, so maybe keep a few copies for the future. Feng Yan, he is very good and I really like his skill animation. He's got immunity to all attacks for 3 turns, and he has recently just got Awakening on Korea server, so you definitely want to keep a few copies of him. And he's very good as all immunity units, very good for daily hard dungeon. So if you have him, especially in low level, you should maybe try to transcend him to at least level 32. The Panda, he is arguably the worst hero that has 6-star version in the whole game, so he is definitely food. Ling Ling, her passive is interesting because when an enemy dies, she makes your whole team immune to debuff for 2 turns. But I mean, there's a hero out there called Spike, so because of Spike, Ling Ling is pretty much just food. Mao Sun, he's food. I mean, his kit is pretty average and his stun rate is pretty low. If you're low level, he can be okay in arena, but in my opinion, you should work on other heroes with your fire element. Bailong, he can be very good, the Bruce Lee of 7 Knights. He is very good in lower level arena, so platinum, diamond. Yeah, I think once you get the crystal, he starts to fall off because a lot of people has Lubu and Black Rose in crystal. arena. So, but if you're in lower level arena, definitely try use him if you have 6-star version of him. Okay, so World 10, Yuxin, he is very good right now. Every single high level arena player will have a level 40 him except me. Well, I really want to get him to level 40, but I just don't have enough resource right now, so I have to settle with a level 30 Dylan's. But his passive, immune to all damage for 2 turns, plus reduce enemy block rate by 50%, so it pretty much cancels out Lucy and Miming's passive, and it makes your whole team crits a lot if the enemy doesn't have Lucy or Miming. Plus, he's got a 3-man piercing and the most annoying skill in the whole game, Lightning Strike. It can win you an arena battle just based on this single skill. If you use it early, it's pretty much GG. So he is very good, and if you have magic element, definitely try to transcend him as soon as possible. Li Jun, in my opinion, he's very underrated. His active skill is pretty average, but his passive, decrease all enemies damage by 40%, is very good in all PvE contents. Plus, especially this passive, with a normal attack, all ally skill cooldown decreased by 10 seconds. So pretty much if you give him double speed, double counter in raid, he attacks on counter or speed attack, all your team's cooldown decreased by 10%. He is a very strong unit for raid, especially for your second team, and he is a very good hero for Rudy Day Castle Rush. So if you have spare earth elements, definitely work on Li Jun. That reminds me of, I forgot about a few heroes in World 9. There you go. Three Kingdom Warriors, Zhao Yun. He is food, okay? If his passive makes the whole team immune to debuff, then he's very OP, but it's only a self debuff, then he is food. Diao Chan, she is food. I mean, her kit is okay, but as I said, you definitely want to work towards Lina to make her level 40, and Lina is just better than this hero in most of the departments, so don't worry about her and just work on Lina. So she's food. Zhuge Liang, as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, he is very good. Firstly, for turtle teams, because of his passive, reduce physical damage received for all allies by 40% 6 turns, and makes your whole team immune to all debuffs. That's mostly Rachel's or Sarah's damage reduce debuff. So he is a very good hero for turtle team and Rachel Day Castle Rush. So definitely work towards transcending him to maybe level 32 if you have the resource, or if you have a turtle team, definitely try and make him level 40. Guan Yu, another very strong hero for turtle team. His passive decreases all enemies' physical magic attack by 40%, plus he's got a crit hit guaranteed single target burst, and he's got an AoE voice shield for your whole team, plus he's got very high base HP, so he is a very strong for turtle team. So if you have spare earth element, you either put towards Guan Yu or you put towards Li Jun. So he is very good. Okay, so we go back to World 10. Quan Ho. I mean, I call him the Asian Wolverine. He is, not many people mention him. He was only released 3 weeks ago, I think, and he is the first hero on Global and Asia with multi-hits. This skill inflicts 150% physical damage on one enemy twice, so it's a multi-hits on voice shield. If this skill becomes an AoE, then he is very viable in the current meta, but it's a single target skill, so he's not very strong. And Harry Lee used a level 40 of him, but I think he just really liked the design. in my opinion, he's not very strong, so I don't recommend working on him. And the last hero, which was just reduced last week, I did a specific hero spotlight on him, Bidam, and I got him to level 40. He is very good for arena at the moment because he's the fastest hero in the game right now at 32 speed, and he's got a voice shield as well, plus 3-man piercing and 4-man silence plus ignore defense skill. So yeah, if you have a meta team with Rose, Lubu, Ace, Dylan's, Yuxing, then you probably want to work towards him, especially you have high speed weapons, as he really helped me in the arena and he got me to top 10 last week, and I'm really grateful that I decided to make him to level 40 straight away. And for you, if you have the spare fighting type element, the red element, definitely try transcend him to at least level 32 for high level arena. So yeah, he's very good. And that concludes today's video. I have gone through every single hero in the game except the 7 Knights of 4 Lords, and I hope the new players and mid-level players, hope you guys can find this guide useful. And I think next video is going to be a Guild War video. So right now we rank 1 and we up against rank 2 Queen. So tomorrow I'm probably going to release this video, and I'll do a few arena battles tomorrow. So thank all of you again for watching my video, and I'll hopefully see you guys in my next video.